Hello everyone. So welcome back to my YouTube channel Chembasis. So in this lecture I am going to discuss about how you can actually determine the strength of an acid. Okay. So basically the strength of an acid is basically determined by the extent of its dissociation. Okay. So suppose I have an acid HA. Okay. So if this acid is in contact with water, it will participate in this types of equilibrium reaction where this acid act as a Lewis acid and it will donate the proton to the water molecule and it will become A minus. Okay, and the water will become H3O plus because it will act as a Lewis base and accept the proton coming from the acid. Okay, now the extent of acidity of this HA will depend upon how much this hydronium ion or how much this A minus ion is produced in the equilibrium. Okay, more amount of this hydronium or A minus ions if it is produced in equilibrium state, then we can say that the acid is much more in the dissociated state, so it has very higher strength. Okay, so the strength of an acid is basically depending upon its extent of dissociation, so how much it can be dissociated in aqueous medium, so that thing actually determine the strength of any acid. Okay, so let's take some examples. So you can see this is acetic acid. So you can see it is acetic acid having a concentration of 0.5 molar. So it is in contact of an aqueous solution, that is water. Okay, so you can see that this acetic acid will donate this proton to the water molecule and it will be converted into acetate anion, and this water molecule, after accepting this proton from the acetic acid, will be converted into hydronium ion. Okay, now here you can see that in the equilibrium state you can see that most of the acetic acid is remain in the undissociated state. Only 1% of that acetic acid generally become in this dissociated state. So that's why I have shown this equilibrium in this way, because most of the equilibrium is in the, most of the reaction will occur in this direction. Okay, so the equilibrium is much more in this direction rather than in this direction. Okay, so that's why this sign or the length of this line is much more greater than this line. So the equilibrium is much more shifted towards this left direction. So that's why the acetic acid become only 1% of the acetic acid is being in the dissociated state. So that's why we can say that this acetic acid is basically weak acid, because it has a very low dissociation rate. Only 1% it dissociate in aqueous medium, so it is basically a weak acid. Okay, now there must be some parameter. By seeing this parameter we can say that okay, this acid is a weak acid, or it is a moderate acid, or it is a strong acid. Okay, there should be some kinds of parameter. So what is this parameter? So the parameter is called the acidic constant, or it is also denoted by Ka. Okay, so this is called the acidic constant, which actually determine the strength of any acid. So let's understood this acidity constant by this example or by this reaction. So you can see that same reaction, acetic acid in aqueous medium, it will be only 1% output will be in the dissociated state, that is acetate anion, and the water molecule will accept this proton and will become hydronium ion. Okay, so now in equilibrium, when the reaction will be in the equilibrium state, there must be some equilibrium constant. Okay, so that is denoted by K equilibrium. So the value of this equilibrium constant will be depending upon the concentration of the product species as well as this reactant species. Okay, so what is this equilibrium constant? K equilibrium is equal to concentration of the acetate anion into concentration of hydronium anion divided by concentration of the undissociated acetic acid and concentration of water molecule, that is called the equilibrium constant. Okay, so you can see this is the equation for equilibrium constant. Okay, now if you just take out this portion, okay, you just take out this portion, and if you substitute this with some constant or some value Ka, then we can write that K equilibrium is equal to Ka divided by the concentration of water molecule. Now one thing you have to remember, that for dilute aqueous solution, so when the aqueous solution is very dilute, here in case of the acetic acid, the concentration is only 0.5 molar. So we can say that this solution is most of in the diluted state. So in this situation, when the aqueous solution is much more diluted, then we can say that the concentration of the water molecule, that is this one, will be equal to 55.5 molar. So why it is this? Okay, so to understand this, we can see that this is an example. You can see that this is a very diluted solution of the acetic acid. So most of the molecule that is there is only water molecule. As it is a very diluted solution, so most of the most of this beaker will be covered, or most of the beaker will be is full with water molecule. Now water has a molar mass of 18. Okay, now suppose there is 1 liter of water molecule. Okay, so 1 liter of water molecule, or 1 liter of is the volume of this solution. So if we consider that all are water molecules only, then it has a mass of 1000 gram, because the density of water is 1 gram per cc. So 1 liter of water will have mass of 1000 gram. Now I have told you that water has a molar mass of 18. Okay, so in 1 liter of solution, 18 gram of water is there, then we can say that water molecule is 1 molar. But here you can see that the water molecule is 1000 gram. So the molarity will be 1000 divided by 18. Okay, so that's why the water molecule, so the aqueous solution, that is a diluted aqueous solution, the molarity of water molecule is equal to 55.5 molar, that is 1000 divided by 18. So that's why we say that for dilute aqueous solution, the concentration or the molarity of water molecule will be 55.5 molar. That will be the concentration of water molecule. Now you have to be very cautious that when we are saying this, we are also adding this portion that we are talking about a dilute aqueous solution. We are not talking about very highly concentrated solution. So this is only applicable when the solution is much more diluted, like this concentration of like 0.5 molar concentration of acetic acid. If the solution is much more concentrated with acetic acid, then what happened? Then we cannot say that this is full with water molecule. That assumption will not be there. Then we have to also consider the molar mass of the acetic acid. But as the concentration of the acetic acid is very low, that's why it is a dilute aqueous solution, then that's why we can actually assume that everything that is in this beaker is water molecule only, and accordingly we can do this calculations. Okay, now come back to this equation, that K equilibrium is equal to Ka, that is acid dissociation constant, divided by the concentration of water molecule. So if you just multiply this concentration of water molecule with K equilibrium, so Ka, that is the acid dissociation constant, that is equal to K equilibrium into concentration of water molecule. Okay, now this Ka, I have told you, is nothing but concentration of the dissociated acetic acid into concentration of the hydronium ion divided by concentration of the undissociated acetic acid. That is called the acid dissociation constant. So this constant or this value will decide how much strong or how much weak the acid is. Okay, now you can see that this is the definition of acid dissociation constant. So from this acid dissociation constant, what are the thing we can determine? So if the value of this acid dissociation constant is very high, which suggests that there will be more number of this hydronium ion and this dissociated species. So suppose we have one acid, that is HA, and this water molecule. Okay, so in aqueous solution it will be in A minus plus H3O plus. That is the equation. Now, according to this theory, the acid dissociation Ka will be equal to the concentration of the dissociated acid into the concentration of hydronium ion divided by the concentration of undissociated acid. Okay. Now, if the value of this acid dissociation constant is very high, then the concentration of the dissociated form of that acid, that is A minus, and hydronium have to be very high, which suggests that the most of the acid is only in the dissociated form. So the higher value of this acid dissociation constant basically determine that the acid is much more stronger. On the other hand, if this value of this acid dissociation constant is low, it means that the concentration of the dissociated form of the acid A minus is lower, which suggests that the acid is weak in nature. Okay. Now let's take an example. So this is, you can see a compound that is called phenol. So this, for phenol, this hydrogen is not acidic hydrogen. Okay, so it has an acid dissociation constant value that is equal to 1.26 into 10 to the power minus 10. Okay, so the question is, what is the molar concentration of hydronium ion, that is H3O plus, in 1 molar solution of phenol? So that is the question. So you can try to solve this problem at your own, but if you do not able to solve this problem, for those, here I am going to solve this problem. Okay. So first of all, we should write the equilibrium reaction. So what will be the equilibrium reaction? How the phenol will participate as acid-base reaction. So this is the phenol, and in presence of aqueous solution water, and this is the equilibrium sign. Some phenol will be in dissociated form, so that's why O minus. And this water molecule will take the proton and it will become hydronium ion. So this is the equilibrium reaction. Okay, now we for our own convenience, we denote this as PHO minus, and we will denote this as PHOH. PH is basically this phenyl group. Okay, now the definition of acid dissociation constant Ka will be equal to the concentration of the dissociated form of this acid, that is PHO minus, into concentration of hydronium ion H3O plus divided by concentration of undissociated phenol. Now you can see in that question the concentration of the phenol is already given, that is 1 molar. So the concentration of phenol is equal to 1 molar. So Ka, that value is also given, that is equal to 1.26 into 10 to the power minus 10 will be equal to concentration of phenol O minus, that is the dissociated form of phenol, into concentration of H3O plus. Okay. Now at equilibrium, the concentration of this species and this species will be equal. Okay. So if the say the concentration of H3O plus or hydronium ion is equal to X, then also the concentration of this phenoxide ion will also be equal to X. Okay. So X squared will be equal to 1.26 into 10 to the power minus 10. So we can obtain the value of X by just simply taking the root square of this 1.26 into 10 to the power minus 10. So the root square value of this will be equal to 1.1 into 10 to the power minus 5. So this is the concentration of the hydronium ion. So you can see that by using this acid-base theory and using this equation, how we can determine the molar concentration of hydronium ion in 1 molar solution of phenol. Okay. Now I have told you that this is the definition of this acid dissociation constant. So you can see that the value of this acid dissociation constant is very low for most of the acid, that is of the order of 10 to the power minus 5 or 10 to the power minus 10. So for our own convenience, it is not at all convenient to express the acidity of any acid using this Ka. So what is the way to avoid this writing this big value like 1.1 into 10 to the power minus 5 or 1.7 10 to the power minus 10? So there is some way by which we can actually avoid avoid to express the acidity by taking simply the minus of the logarithm of this acid dissociation constant. Okay, so the if we take the minus logarithm of the acid dissociation constant, that is called the pKa value. Okay, so you can see that for acetic acid the Ka value is equal to 1.76 into 10 to the power minus 5. Okay, so if you want to determine the pKa value, you have to take simply the minus logarithm of this acid dissociation constant, that will be equal to minus log into 1.76 into 10 to the power minus 5, that is equal to 4.75. so this value is much more easy to understood instead of this large value. So that's why we are basically defining the acidity or strength of any acid by pKa value only, not the Ka value. So the acid strength is basically defined by minus logarithm of the acid dissociation constant or pKa value. Okay, now there will be some value for concentration of H3O plus in that equilibrium solution. Okay, so you can see that if we take the minus of logarithm of this H3O plus or the hydronium ion, you will we will get the pH value. So pH value basically decides the concentration of the hydronium ion or H plus ion in any solution. Okay, so lower the pH value, higher will be the concentration of the hydronium ion, so higher will be the acidity or higher the acidic will be the solution. Okay, now what is the relationship between the pKa value and acidic strength or acidity? What is this relationship? Now suppose acid A has acid dissociation constant value that is equal to 10 to the power minus 5. On the other hand, acid B has acid dissociation constant value that is equal to 10 to the power minus 6. So if you see this two value, you can easily say that acid A has much more higher acidity, because higher will be that Ka value, more will be the concentration of the dissociated species, so we can say that the acid is much more stronger. Now if you take the minus logarithm of this Ka, we will obtain the pK value of acid A, that is equal to plus 5, and you will obtain the pK value for acid B, that is equal to plus 6. So you can see that for acid A the pK value equal to 5 and A is much more stronger than acid B. So from that we can say that higher the pK value of any acid, lower will be its acidity. Okay, because higher the value of higher the value of this pK of any acid, its Ka value will be much more lower. So that's why the acid will be much more lower, and if any acid possesses very low pK value, this will suggest that the acid is much more stronger in nature. Okay, so there are some example, you can see that there are some example of different acid. Okay, so you can see that the strongest acid that is reported is like this one, antimony, some antimony fluoride, fluoridic some acid, I don't know what is this. Okay, so you can see that this is the very strongest acid and it has a pK value minus 12. Can you imagine? So this is a highly strong acid. On the other hand, you can see that this is the hydronium ion. Okay, so hydronium ion has pK value equal to minus 1.74. So these acids are stronger than hydronium ion. Okay, on the other hand, if you see these acids are not, these acids are also strong acid but not as strong as hydronium ion. So that's why you can actually determine the acidity of this acid, okay, in aqueous solution. Okay, so all acids that is stronger than hydronium ion, for these acid you cannot determine the acidity of this acid in aqueous solution, because as these acids are much more stronger than hydronium ion, so all these acid, irrespective of its individuality, all these acids will be fully dissociated. So you cannot distinguish that which acid is stronger than which one, because in presence of aqueous solution all acids are behaving similarly. So that effect is called the leveling effect. So to compensate or to nullify this leveling effect, if you really want to calculate the acidity of these acids, you have to choose another solvent other than water molecules. Okay, so that part I am not going to discuss. So but for these acids, as these acids are not stronger than hydronium ion, so you can easily determine its acidity or pKa value in aqueous solutions. Okay, on the other hand, these are basically very strong base. They have much more stronger basicity than hydroxide ion. So you can see that that's why you cannot determine its basicity in water molecules. So same leveling effect will be there in this case also, but in that case the leveling effect is because of its strong basicity. Okay, so to distinguish these acids or to distinguish these bases, we need some another solvents, not water molecules. Okay, now the question is, how can you calculate the pKa of water molecules? So I have already told you that water is also a type of acid. Although it is a very mild acid, but still it has some acidity. But how can you determine the pKa value of water? Okay, so you can see that this is water molecule. The pKa value of water is reported like 15.7, but how can you determine it? So here is the way. So water molecule will participate in acid base reaction like this. So one more water molecule will take hydrogen atom from another water molecule, as this water molecule will be converted to H3O plus, and this water molecule will be converted to OH minus. So the Ka value or the acid dissociation constant value will be equal to the concentration of this hydronium ion into concentration of this hydroxide ion divided by the undissociated water molecule. Now at equilibrium, I have already told you that the concentration of this hydronium ion and the concentration of this OH minus ion will be equal, and its value is 10 to the power minus 7 at room temperature, 10 to the power minus 7 molar. Okay, because the neutral water has pH of 7, so that's why at equilibrium and at room temperature the concentration of this hydronium and hydroxide ion are equal, so that's why you call it at neutral water. Okay. No, so if we see that the concentration, on the other hand, the concentration of pure water is 55.5 molar. I have already derived it why the concentration of pure water molecule is 55.5 molar in my previous slides. Okay, so you can see that as the density of water molecule is 1 gram per ml, so these are the thing I have derived why this concentration of pure water is 55.5 molar is given here also, so you can follow this. Okay, now you can see we have the concentration of hydronium ion that is equal to 10 to the power minus 7. We have the concentration of hydroxide ion that is equal to 10 to the power minus 7 also, and we have also the concentration of water molecule that is equal to 55.5 molar. So if you just put all those things, you will get the Ka value that is equal to 1.8 into 10 to the power minus 16. So if you take the minus logarithm of this Ka, you will obtain the pK value that will be equal to 15.7. So this is the way how you can actually calculate the pK of water molecule. Okay, so I hope that these are things that right now I have discussed. So I hope that you have understood all those things, and if you do have any questions, please let me know through the comment section. And if you really like my channel and my videos, do subscribe to my YouTube channel Chembiosis. And thank you very much for watching this video till end, and I will see you very soon. Bye, take care of yourself.